You almost didn't. Almost didn't. 2 minutes ago. I think you're all here, so we can go ahead and start. So I've got on the screen just the one of our multiplayer sessions because all the other VODs are gone because we played this forever ago. It's at least the least amount of downtime between missions. Okay, well we can go ahead and start because it's everybody. Ilo, you don't get to talk. Mute yourself. Anyways, all right. So for this month and a half podcast, we were playing for February Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. It's on the screen. On our little dinky show right now, we have Jen, Bear, Chris, Keegan, Will, me, and we are going to probably talk very briefly about this game. It's been at least a month, I think, since most of us have played it. Chris was trying to finish it, but I think you said you only got like halfway through, or I think we said you only got about halfway through. Me, Keegan, and Will finished it like a month and some change ago, and then I think Jen finished it a couple of weeks ago, right, Jen? Yeah. Oh, damn. well, then other stuff came out. We stopped playing because we'd already beat it and stuff. Like I wanted to go back and do other stuff too, but I never did. So yeah, I mean, you can play. Does he know this? That's a good question. Do you know the story, Keegan? Yeah, I mean, in a way, you're not entirely wrong. It is a game about a game with the premise of another game. Yeah, we die here. Good times. I tried to res somebody. Should never try to res somebody. It's not worth it. Trying to help. Okay. Well. I figured what we'll start doing with these things is we'll start talking about the stuff we like and all that about the game. Then we'll go into negative, and then we'll kind of like wrap it up with like overall thoughts. So stuff that I liked, like really liked. I mean, the story wasn't bad. Like I'm an anime shitlord. I watch a lot of anime, and the story was very anime. So I mean, the story was pretty good. It's got like similarities to other like anime style like JRPG slash visual novel games. It follows the same kind of general like social aspects that a lot of them do. It doesn't do it quite as well as other similar games, but it does do it. I mean, that's all right. Um, Man, I didn't hate the game, but I'm coming up with a blank of like what to say that the game did really well because I don't think it did much really well. I honestly think the reason that I got into it so much is just like the world and stuff and like the characters and stuff for references to things that I've already watched and references to a show that I had already watched. I think that's kind of what really got me into it. What about y'all? Do y'all have any things that pointed out as being really good to y'all? You can dual wield LMGs. I don't know if I'd call it. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would call it good. Um, well, I mean, we can get into overall thing, but I don't know if I'd say it was good. I will say that I had fun. Um, God, Jesus wants his fuck. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Deus Ex Machina is what you want. Walk. Yeah. um. Well, you mentioned some stuff that I'm going to disagree with, and I guess it comes in with some of my complaints about the game. Like, so I will say for a PC report of a Vita game, it could have definitely been worse. But I will disagree wholeheartedly that it ran well. Like it it ran. Um there are several technical aspects of it that we discovered that I will always just say it did not run well, cuz I mean, I guess in a way we can say that it didn't run well. Like it ran how it was intended to, and all of the like stuff that I'm about to complain about was actively design decisions and not the game technically not running well. So, I mean, I guess objectively, the game did run and it did not ever crash on us, and the frame rate and everything was stable and all that stuff, right? But but there were a lot of mechanical and technical problems. The most glaring of which is, and it became a meme while we were playing the game, and Keegan and Will both know what I'm about to say. Literally everything is tied to the frame rate. Like your like the hit boxes are tied to the frame rate. The hurt boxes are tied to the frame rate. Your gun's DPS is tied to frame rate. Your AI companions decision making is tied to frame rate. Like the enemy AI decision making is tied to frame rate. Your ability to dodge the enemy is tied to frame rate. Like everything is tied to frame rate. And yeah, yeah, and that's kind of what we're getting at here. Like if you don't run the game at 30 FPS, which is what the game's native FPS was on the Vita, everything breaks. Like it becomes nearly impossible to dodge things. You deal an insane amount of extra damage, but so does the enemy. Your AI partners become dumb as fucking bricks. They cannot decide on what to do. So oftentimes you'll see them literally running in place, going back and forth, back and forth. I wish I had ever taken a clip of it, but there are several instances of like where my character was down and my AI would go to res him, but then she would just start dodging back and forth and would not stop and just die to whatever was shooting at her because she's just spam dodging back and forth. And there was several fights. Oh, go ahead, Keegan. Sorry. Well, I mean, I have said several times that the AI in this game might be the absolute worst AI in video games, like ever in the history of video games. It real bad. I am kind of curious, but I'm not gonna go play this game on the Vita. um, Probably locked to 30. Yeah. Um. What was I gonna say after that? Talking about frame rate. Oh, yeah, and several of so there were several bosses that had lasers. There was specifically one boss in like the third, or one mini boss in like the third area that you had to do for one of the bounty quests or one of the elite. I think it was the elite bounty quests or whatever they're called. And it was like a level 80, a level 75, some odd fucking flying mech thing, and it would just shoot giant quad lasers at you. And if you had the game at 60 FPS, you could not dodge these lasers, and they would hit you for your health bar. Like they hit like trucks. You like I had to crank the settings down to 30 FPS, and then I could actually go fight the boss and kill it. If you played at 60 FPS, the boss was impossible to kill. Like I even tried to do it at level 100 and like 10 or something like that, like the highest level I got into, and you just die. You cannot dodge the lasers, and they hurt a lot. Go ahead. 30 FPS. 30 FPS was the default. Well, like Chris, you haven't even gotten to like where the game starts getting remotely challenging yet. But yeah, if you didn't change any of the setting, it defaults to 30 FPS. And so like you won't see a lot of the issues. And even really early on, I didn't have a lot of these issues because most of the stuff is projectiles or like not dealing a whole bunch of damage to you. Oh, this is where we power leveled Ilo onto the stream right now. Yeah, honeycomb. That was the name of that thing. Uh, yeah, yeah, that was fun. Um, yeah, I mean, most of my major complaints are tied to that bit about the frame rate because that bit about the frame rate is most of the reason the dodge mechanics are really wonky for us. Most of the reason that, well, not entirely, but you can only hear me. Uh-oh. I need to restart voice meter then. That's unfortunate. This has been a chance dominated podcast right now. I'm having a nice conversation with. Well, to be fair, I've been talking the most right now. So. 1 second. I don't know. I don't know why it. I don't know why it does this because. Yeah, there's not any sound coming through. What wasn't recorded? Oh, yeah, yeah. Wait, Ilo heard. We'll talk. Oh, Ilo's in the channel. That's why he heard it. Okay. Somebody say something.
Hello, check.
Okay, yeah, they can hear you now. Okay. Yeah, I just had to restart the audio engine. This thing right here. But yeah. To recap, the only thing that really, well, Will mentioned the game ran technically well. I both agreed and disagreed, depending on perspective. Then Jen and Chris both said they never had any problem with the frame rate stuff, but they also said they left it at default 30 FPS. I think that's really the only thing that's been said other than me going off. I like played in quotes there because you did really just stand there, Ilo, and not do anything because you couldn't do anything. You died a few times.
Yeah, I would say I really liked it for its. I hadn't played anything that was kind of close to the Borderlands type of game, like a shooter RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun to get back into and to see the damage numbers get higher and higher, that type of thing. So that was fun for me.
Yeah.
Story was obviously my favorite.
Hey Keegan, can you
God,
can you name your two big cohorts in your story? Like
I'm
like
not
Can
sure
you
what you
name
mean.
any? Can you name any character other than you?
Kiroto.
There you go. I said it earlier.
uh
Hey, there's Straya and Lifa
There
hmm
you
and
go.
Now
and
you haven't
oh
named
wait,
the
dang it,
Who's Lipa?
name one of the
Asuna.
main secondary characters.
That's a confusing question.
Uh
Main secondary,
yeah.
Stu or whatever his name is.
Okay, I can kind of give you that one. That wasn't who I was
Yeah,
going for, but
yeah.
who is like
Uh,
who?
I almost wanted to call her Kesha. What is her name though?
Okay, Curia. Yeah. Okay. You don't remember their names,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
that one.
kind of remember their names.
Yeah, yeah. I'm good
Okay.
with faces.
Okay. You're good with faces.
Give him a
But
boob and he can identify a character.
uh,
yeah,
uh,
so I pretty much ignored this all the conversations in my first playthrough, which landed in some unfortunate events, kind of reenacting the end of Mass Effect 2, if you will. And then, so that's why I did my second playthrough. But yeah, and I got through it pretty quick, but I burnt out once I got to the last section of it. Um,
Understandable.
yeah, put in like 40 hours of that game, or 30.
I do think like the Borderlands analogy is actually kind of interesting because it does kind of scratch that a bit. It doesn't do real co-op really. Like this is the co-op stuff that we're kind of goofing off on right now, and it was not very great. Like it was not super awesome. There were many issues, but like as the single player game, like it is kind of Borderlandsy. Like obviously, aiming and shooting doesn't matter at all, really, because you have the auto aim thing, and most of the time it's better to be auto aiming anyways than trying to actually aim. um, that's an interesting way to put it. I didn't actually really think about it that way. Makes you want to play like a good Borderlands game. Shame that doesn't exist.
You can go back
Could
to
always
1 and
play the
2.
prequel.
No, we can't. No, we can't. No, we can't. We have played all the Borderlands we're gonna play until Borderlands whatever the next one is comes out.
Rip.
Uh, I think they're working on that. Anyways, yeah, I don't really have any major complaints about the shooting mechanics. I don't really have much complaints about the loot. I mean, I want to say like the shooting mechanics don't feel tight or anything like that. Like this it's obviously not an FPS game first or a shooter game first. But like going in kind of knowing that and having an understanding of like this developer and sort of like the games and stuff that they've made. I didn't go in expecting like I actually went in expecting the game to be a lot jankier than it is. So the fact that it wasn't very janky and like the general moment to moment gameplay and stuff was kind of surprising. Despite the FPS stuff and everything being awful and all that. Um, yeah. It's so weird because like I'm talking mad shit about like design stuff with the game, right? Like there is a lot of design problems I had with the game about like how the AI worked and how about a whole lot of stuff functioned and everything. But like I didn't hate the game. Like I had fun playing the game.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
did.
it was.
Go ahead.
That's kind of what I meant when I said it was good, more than that it was, necessarily technically correct. That it was like overall, I had a positive taste,
Yeah.
despite kind of crazy oddities like frame rate tied to your decision making AI.
Yeah. Like it's hard
Yeah.
to say what I would rate the game. And if I would like,
You kind of have to rate it in separate categories.
yeah,
Almost.
like if I was to objectively rate the game and like purely on like technical aspects and stuff, like it'd be real low. It wouldn't be super low, but it'd be pretty low. But like I think overall fun factor and everything was pretty high. Especially like if you're somebody that's watched the anime and like liked the anime alright, or like somewhat invested in the series and stuff, I think you'll actually really like the game. Because like barring just the FPS issue, like if you leave the game at 30 FPS, the game isn't super difficult and you can kind of just run through and experience like the story stuff. And like treating the game as sort of just like a story game like that, I actually think that's its strongest suit, like when you're doing the story stuff. Go ahead.
That's actually what did it for me, because once I started playing the game, I started watching the anime. And then once I started learning who the characters were from the anime and then coming back to the game, I started to have I guess, a better appreciation for the game and actually enjoying the game, to know that, oh, there's more stories behind these characters than just these characters in the game.
Mhm.
And since I was trying to rush through the game, all I've done so far is stuck to the story mode, which I kind of followed. But then, like, the bad thing I would say about the game is that the dialogue, in my opinion, was just extremely long just to get the game started. And even while you're in the game, like before you even start a quest, the amount of dialogue you have to go through just to start the quest, to me, was just a bit ridiculous.
Yeah,
There are quests that are just dialogue.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's sort of what me and Will were alluding to before when we were talking about like me. So me and Will went into the game, especially me, like knowing exactly what to expect in that regard. Like I knew that there was going to be a ton of dialogue. Even at the front though, there was some times where I just wanted to shut the fuck up too, at the very start, because that was a bit much. But yeah, like these kinds of games do that, especially from like Japanese developers and like kind of story slash visual novel esque JR or RPGs and stuff. There's a lot of text and talking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess if I was expecting it, I wouldn't so much call it a complaint. But like at the very beginning of the game, because like I like RPGs, and I know in RPGs you can expect a lot of dialogue, and it's almost like reading a book to me, except in a video game style.
Mhm.
So in the very beginning of the game, as I'm obviously trying to rush through the game as well, I'm reading the dialogue until I wish I was exaggerating. Like 10 minutes later, and I haven't even started the game because I'm still reading dialogue.
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
you
it's more than 10 minutes.
it takes you like an hour to like actually start playing the game. Like it's a lot. It didn't bug me a whole lot, but I could definitely see it being a huge turnoff to people, that there's so much dialogue, especially right at the start. Because they're like introducing characters, and you get a lot of like there's a lot of stuff thrown at you very quickly. It
It's
does.
almost worse if you know the anime, because they're like, "This is Kirito. He blah blah," and you're like, "Yes, Jesus, we've met."
Not Jesus, God of the Machine.
And that. This is actually what you're doing now. Would have also been nice if they'd explained somewhat that you could sell some of this crap that we accumulated 9999 items of, so you could not have money troubles the whole game.
Yeah, they could have just given you the money instead of make you sell all this stuff. Because yeah, had we known that you could sell all this shit early on, we would have just been rolling in it really early. Could have done without the several meetings in Kirito's apartments. There were a lot of times where it was just like, "Hey, everybody, come to Kirito's apartment so we can have some exposition."
Yeah,
that happened quite a
That
few
stuff
times.
That you can, the stuff that you can sell, I totally looked that up, so I knew what I could sell.
Right. This is one of those times, Jen, where your whole like meticulous inventory bullshit probably did great for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I had no money problem.
Yeah, because I went in there and I read all the items and took all the time to do that. But yeah, no, we didn't realize you could sell all that shit until like 2 days after or before we quit playing.
Yeah, and then we went and bought everything.
Yeah, we literally bought like the whole town. This is me playing dress up with my my characters.
I would say that's probably 30% of the game right there. The
Play,
dress up
playing
part, so-
dress up. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of
So, I
ways to
mean-
like unlock other costumes and stuff that we just didn't do anything with.
Speak for yourself. I did some of them.
Fair enough. That I personally didn't do anything with. I'll say then.
I spent way too much time grinding for cosmetics in this game.
Yeah, I barely did any of that at all.
Hey, that's part of the game. You did well.
So I was thinking an interesting question for these might be, what's the thing that they did? What's your favorite thing that they did, and what is the thing that you would fix if you had developed the game that would make it like a star rating higher for you or something? So like for this game, it's a little obvious because not linking
Yeah,
rating
yeah,
logic
to frame
mechanics of
rate.
the game to frame rate.
What I think what they did good is actually making it feel like Sword Art Online, or like making it feel like it's part of that whole universe and everything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get at too. Like, I would totally play this game. Like, if it weren't a game of a game, like I would totally play Sword Art. I mean, VR would be better, but
You mean, isn't it Gun Gale?
Well, yeah, this one's
Yeah,
Gun
yeah,
Gale
sorry.
Online, yeah.
I mean, I'd play Sword Art. But this one was like, I would totally play this MMO. And I think that's a hard thing to achieve, to make a game about an MMO and make the MMO seem super appealing. So I thought they did that really well.
Yeah. I actually thought they did like the conversation stuff all pretty like I mean basically just like I said the first time, like making it like they did a really good job of just making it feel like Sword Art Online, or like a part of that whole anime and like the mythos or whatever you want to call it, of, or the canon, I guess we'll say, of that series. Because like it felt like if this wasn't a game, that like you could, like, this same sort of shit would happen in an episode of Sword Art Online. I think they did a really good job of that. And yeah, the thing I would fix would definitely be the frame rate stuff. What about the rest of y'all? Any input on that? I actually like that question a lot.
Well, I would say one of my favorite parts is actually the graphics, because it made it more immersive, because it seemed like I was an anime character.
Fair. I do like the art and everything in it.
You like the sword art?
Actually pushes up glasses. Sword art refers to the style of moves that they do.
Yeah, I didn't see any art. I didn't see any art or assets about a sword. Sorry.
No. So sword. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
Did I derail you?
No. I was just gonna go like full nerd.
I know. I knew where you're going. I was just derailing because it's funny.
Never go full nerd.
We always go full nerd. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate that you or haven't yet finished the story stuff, Chris, because I do think that's the game's strongest suit.
I still plan on finishing it.
Yeah.
Good.
Which I'll probably end up playing a little bit of it after we get done here.
Nice.
Word.
Just remember, you got a month for the next one, so
Yeah.
budget.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna try to do better for the next.
Well, let's do overall. So my general feeling for the game, I think we've kind of already gotten into. Like, I had a lot of fun with the game. I probably, as a piece of technology, like a piece of software, like something really technical. Like I don't think it's a very good technical thing. Like I think there's a lot of problems in like the mechanics and some of the design and stuff like that. But like as a Sword Art Online / anime as fuck / just game to turn off and like experience, it was really fun. Like I think if you've seen the anime and you like the storylines, you like the characters, or like you even just kind of like anime in general, I think you would really like the game. And like I had a lot of fun with it from like that kind of angle as like a giant fucking weeb and somebody that has watched Sword Art and like liked certain pieces of it, will say. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with the game. I won't say it's not going to win any awards, but I had fun. And like at the end of the day, that's what playing video games is partly about, just having fun. So I think this accomplished that. So I'll give it a positive. Like it's we'll say it's 7 anime waifus out of 9. there's
Perfect.
there's
I like it.
there's my rating. 7 anime waifus out of 9. We'll go top down for the rest of them. Jen, what is your overall feeling about the game?
I really enjoyed playing. The graphics, like I said, I enjoyed the graphics, and I enjoyed the story. If the conversations had been a little bit spread out a little more, it would have been better instead of like in these big clumps. And I mean, the storyline, I liked it enough to look up the series and go watch it, so that was good. And I overall like the concept of being in a video game
In a video game?
while playing a video. Yeah. That's it.
Fair enough. All right, Chris, how are your feelings on it so far? So for everybody, Chris has gotten about halfway in the game, I think we said.
Yeah, so for the most part of what I've been able to play, I have been enjoying the game. And like Jen said, the fact that I'm playing a game within a game after I watch the anime and go, oh, so like if you die in the game, you're actually not dead. You're since you didn't die in real life, unless of course you watch the anime. Uh, and I do enjoy the graphics. I don't think the graphics were better than like when I played Hellblade. I thought Hellblade was far superior. But the fact that it's mimicking an anime and to me it fits the profile for that. As far as the frame rate discussion, like I took all the defaults, so I haven't had any issues with any type of controls. But knowing now that this game was meant for the Vita and it was an upgrade, I can say that I did have a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say technical. I guess maybe mechanical might be the word I'm looking for. The fact that it was more than just WASD and the mouse, and then knowing that certain keys did certain things, especially when I started learning how to use the skills. And because of where everything is assigned, it was a little difficult to learn at first. But then the more I started to use it, the easier it started to get. And I can see where like maybe if this was a joystick or a controller type game, that it's probably a little bit easier to navigate than to use a keyboard and mouse.
I kind of think that's probably a little bit because you haven't played a whole lot of games and stuff too.
Well, that could also be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the most part, I think, like I said, I've been really enjoying it. There's obviously a whole lot of the game that I'm actually missing out on because I was trying to rush right through it, so I haven't done any side quests or anything like that. And then and I haven't really been able to follow the remainder of the story because I was trying to rush through it, knowing that there was still tons of dialogue that you still have to go through even midway through. But I think overall, yeah, I'd probably give it maybe like I don't know, a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for what I've done so far. But that rating could obviously change the more after I finish it. But for now, that's pretty much what I have for it.
Fair enough. Keegs.
I like it. I love the story the most. I don't know. For what it was, once I realized it was a port from a Vita game, I thought it did pretty well for the PC. It's obviously things that it could improve on, but it wasn't built for the PC. So that's kind of the excuse I always go back to. There are some things that they could have, you know, like I said, done better, but and probably should have fixed. But for what it was fun, and it was mostly fun because everyone else was playing it. We got to play together, and hmm, it did make me want to watch the anime. So I did finish Sword Art Online 1. Looking forward to 2, and I got to customize my waifu. So I mean,
Lol.
Okay, cool. we'll go ahead. Let you
Yeah, I mean, same kind of consensus. It wasn't game of the year, but it was fun. We had a lot of fun when we were playing it, which is hard to do sometimes. Um, I liked the art a lot. I'm not a huge cell shaded fan, and this is kind of on the verge of that a little bit, but I think it pulled the aesthetic of the game or the show in really well. There were definitely some technical problems with the frame rate. There was definitely some design problems as far as what we kind of expect in game design, and this didn't do a lot of that. Um, the game didn't scale very well. Once you got to a certain level, you kind of
go.
won. And there was some weird plateaus in the difficulty that we encountered that was frustrating. But overall, it was fun. I enjoyed it. So we'll go with the 5 out of 9 waifus.
I like the waifu rating. Okay, cool. So yeah, the consensus seems
I get a
on.
bonus waifu because my wife played it.
Well, I said 7 out of 9 waifus, I think, not 5 out of 9.
You did
So
say 7.
yeah, there are. Look at y'all locking me out of rooms. So rude. There are several other SAO games. And those aren't shooter based. Those are more like actual like RPG and stuff. They're more like the faux MMO. If you played games like Xenoblade Chronicles and that kind of stuff, they're kind of more in that vein. So if you want to play more, they are all sort of canon. They're like they're you don't ever see them referenced in the actual anime, but like they're in the universe lore, they are canon. So however you want to take that. But it just if you get really into it, you can play more of them. But yeah, general consensus seems to be that everybody had fun. It's it can be a little bit of a mess, but a fun mess. And everyone dies on a bridge right now, right here. Everyone dies on this bridge
Every time.
I will say that when you mentioned difficulty scaling, I don't think the Prime game actually had that problem. I think the multiplayer definitely has that problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The Prime difficulty, I think you cap out. Well, maybe not cap out is the right word, but like you. I didn't have much problem with the main game. There are a few bosses I had problems with because I was stubborn and didn't want to take it off 60 FPS because I'm a shitlord like that. But if you played on 30, you shouldn't have the same problems that I did with fighting certain bosses underleveled on purpose because you're a turd.
Yeah, it was just the multiplayer. Like there are dungeons consistently, like every 5 levels from like 20 to what was it, like 75?
90. It
And
was
then
90.
there's nothing till 90, and then there's nothing till like 125. And then it goes up like 130, 135. It starts 5 level increments again. It was super weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. But yeah. I didn't expect this one would be very long because it's been so long since we played the game. About 45 minutes is sounds about right. So yeah, we'll put that down as a fun one. We all enjoyed. We didn't hate it.
Yeah.
We also did not have fun. Yeah, it was good times. So now we're on to the March game, which is Sundered. It's a kind of a side scroller Metroidvania sort of deal. It's pretty different than some of the other stuff we played. I don't think we've played a side scroller yet, have we?
No.
For the game club, I mean. Yeah, I don't think we have.
Yeah, I mean, I have played side scrollers.
Right. Presumably, we've all probably played a side scroller. Yeah. So Sundered Eldritch Edition is what everyone should grab. I don't know if it's on sale right now, but it kind of regularly was going on sale.
Let me check.
Well, like, hold on, let me see. We posted it in the game club not too long ago. A link to the Steam page. It looks like it's not on sale. So the regular sale price is $20.
You said the Eldritch edition?
Well, the Eldritch Edition is the only one you can buy now. $12.99. What do you see $12.99 at? Oh, $19.99. Okay. Yeah. So it's $20 right now. And it's kind of a like, so it's a Metroidvania and it has sort of Lovecraftian themes to it, which is really cool. And I actually really like the art. I actually kickstarted this game a long time ago, and I played about 2 or 3 hours of like one of the early alpha builds, but I haven't gone back to it yet. So I'm actually like really looking forward to playing it. There are a couple of different endings, depending on certain things you do in the game, and the game is about 15-ish hours long. You can actually speedrun and beat the game in about 20 minutes if you know exactly where to go.
So if anybody's in crunch time, right at like the last,
yeah, just look up the speedrun. It's actually incredibly easy to speedrun. Well, I say that, but like all speedrunning is kind of difficult, but like the route and everything you have to do is pretty straightforward. Yeah, you could get it on
Like
Humble
literally
for
straight?
10%. Well, it's more like down and across, but kind of. But if you do have a Humble bundle monthly, whatever, you get 10% off of it if you buy it on there. I think it's also on Discord Nitro if you want to get it on Discord. But yeah, there's, you can get it fucking wherever you want to. There's a million different places. So that podcast is going to be on March 30th. Bringing up the website to make sure I'm getting it right. March 31st.
30th is Saturday.
March 31st. Apparently at 6 and not at 7. It's going to be at 7. I just fucked the time up. No, I did it at 6 because it's on a Sunday. That's right. But yeah. So y'all have a month to beat that. Whoa. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for our little podcast show. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I might play Apex. I may start Sundered. What are y'all going to be up to?
Starting Sundered up.
Starting Sundered.
I wanted to get a couple runs of Apex before I went to bed.
Okay, so starting Sundered.
I'm down for whatever.
I actually do think I'm going to start Sundered. All right, well, that's the podcast. This one was only about 45 minutes. And now I'm going to start Sundered.
Yeah.
Yay!
I would actually how long did you
What?
say Sundered was?
Probably about like if you
20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah. I mean, if you're just kind of running through and doing stuff, I think it was like the number I saw was about 15 hours.
All right, I'll start on this early because April's game is super long. I know that for a fact.
It's not super long. I mean, it's about as long as Sword Art is, really. All right, so
yeah, so everybody that finished Sword Art, how many hours did you have?
well, that's not fair for us because we also did a shit ton of the multiplayer.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just curious how much everybody played it, more than comparing. I have 53 hours.
I have exactly 30.
I see. I sit there a lot and do nothing while I'm doing other things. So I have like 60 hours, but that wasn't actually playtime.
Damn. Yeah. I only had 37.
Damn.
According to my Steam, it says I've only played it for 9 hours.